There's something special about Atlantic Coast Conference basketball. It's why every time conference realignment comes up, I scream from the top of the mountaintops, if I can make it to the top of a mountaintop. I scream, ACC basketball is important. Don't forget about it. It's important. Don't forget about it. It's important. So now I'm going to back that up by saying ACC basketball starts in earnest tomorrow with in-conference play. We have a bunch of good matchups, and it's going to be awesome. Florida State's coming to Chapel Hill to face number 17 North Carolina. Georgia Tech's hosting Duke. North Carolina State's going up to Boston, shipping up to Boston to face Boston College. There we go.
Man, I should have thought I'd play that.
I didn't even.
Gosh.
I didn't even get there until we were on air, so I could have let you know. Let's break them down one at a time. Florida State at number 17 UNC. Here's what I think is good for North Carolina. North Carolina's coming off a very interesting game. We talked about it yesterday. Very Jekyll and Hyde against Tennessee. They did beat the number 10 team in the country, though, so they're number 17 for now. They'll be going up in the next rankings as long as they take care of business against Florida State. They had a Jekyll and Hyde first half, second half. They played so well in the first half that it didn't hurt them that they didn't play as well in the second half. You know Florida State under Leonard Hamilton is going to play hard for 2 full halves. You know, right? So there is this chance, this opportunity for North Carolina, for the Tar Heels, to show that they can do that also and will do that in the ACC. Right? It's the immediate facing of your fears. It's we didn't really play a full game, but it didn't hurt us. Now you have to. Now you got a team that's going to come at you with lanky athletes like Florida State always has. I feel like just to be recruited by Florida State, you need to have a wingspan that's like 6 inches longer than your height.
Yeah.
If you're 6'4", your wingspan is minimum 6'10". Like they're just good at getting into the passing lane. They always are. They're good at blocking shots. They always are. And they play hard.
Tall and lengthy.
Tall, lanky. I feel like their like fingers are longer. They're I don't know why I'm making them out to be like aliens. If you play for Florida State, it's like you're an avatar.
We're setting it up to make it like they're going to be playing against it's the Space Jam movie, pretty much. I feel like that's where.
But only the real lanky one, right? Only the one that took Sean Bradley's powers, not the one that took Barkley's. My point is, I think it's good for North Carolina because it's another team that they should be better than. It's another team that they're going to be more talented than. But it tests one of the things that they're like showing might be something they have to work on, right? It tests putting together a full game, which is good. Like if you have a little point of vulnerability, you want to try to fix it, and then you want to get tested. And then all right, we still need to work on it. Then you need to get tested. And then all right, you need to work on it. And you can keep doing that. It's part of the beauty of playing in the ACC, right? You can't skate by an ACC conference and like not know if you're real or not. Right, we talk about it in football. You can be a group of 5 team and go undefeated, and everyone's still going, I don't know if you're legit. That will never happen in the ACC for basketball. It'll never happen. Whether you're the top team or the bottom team, all of your flaws will be exposed over an ACC basketball schedule.
Especially this early in the season.
Especially, yeah. I mean, it's part of the good, like, how do you know what to work on if you never have somebody take advantage of it?
And going back to like what you said yesterday, back to last season, one reason why that North Carolina team struggled to make or didn't make the NCAA tournament is because it was either one, they couldn't finish the games, or two, they just put themselves in a position where they could never get into the game. And sometimes, so far this year, not that North Carolina has to put themselves in position to get into the game, but we haven't seen them be able to finish. They haven't played a complete game.
And as I keep saying, in the ACC, not playing a complete game is a smooth way to give up a whole bunch of upsets, especially when you're North Carolina, because when you walk in and you've got the cool shoes and you've got the baby blue and you got the Carolina blue, I should say.
The Jumpman logo.
You're going to get everybody's best, right? They're not going to – they want to get a cool dunk on you. Let's go to the next game, Duke at Georgia Tech. Duke has a long way to go. I went back and watched the condensed game again of their loss to Arkansas on the road. They've got a long way to go. Talented, You knew they were going to be with their last 2 recruiting classes. Talented, but they have yet to put it together this year. And here's where I'm, you got to look inwards first, right? If you're really wrong on something, and this is very unsports media, very unsports radio for the year 2023, right? Normally, if you're wrong on something, what do you do in sports media? You just double down. You dig your heels in, you scream louder, you get more angry, you defend your point. What I try to do, not always, because we all get stubborn at some point in time, what I try to do is go, all right, well, what did I miss here, right? If I'm wrong, how can I learn from this and be better moving forward? I think I may have put too much stock, too much credit, too much value in Kyle Filipowski, Tyrese Proctor, and Mark Mitchell being quote-unquote veterans when they're sophomores, right? I saw, and this was sparked, I was watching the game. Again, like I said, I was watching the condensed game, so I had kind of 2 screens going, 2 windows on my computer up. One was watching, and one I was on Twitter. And I saw somebody, a Twitter, quote-unquote analyst, I don't know who it was, said this team is too old to be playing like this, paraphrasing. And I went, wait a second. They're older than most blue blood teams that live off in one-and-dones.
Yeah.
But they pretty much have one upperclassman in the rotation when Ryan Young is out, like he was, is Jeremy Roach, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's hilarious how the transition has happened over the last 10 or 15 years. Sophomores used to be what we called underclassmen, right? Sophomores used to be liabilities with the ball in their hand at the end of games. You wanted it in the hand of a grizzled junior or a tried and true experienced senior with the game on the line.
Seniors.
Yeah. Now, if you're a blue blood program and you have a bunch of sophomores, it's like, wow, look how old you are. You have all these veterans. They've been around a time or two. Tyrese Proctor, age-wise, grade-wise, should be a freshman.
Correct.
He reclassified up a class last year to be on Duke a season ago. So that means McCain, freshman aged, Foster, freshman aged, Stewart, if he gets in the game, freshman aged, Power, freshman aged, Proctor, freshman aged, Filipowski, sophomore, although he feels like he's been around a bunch, Mitchell, sophomore. This team is not old. They're not. They're older than some of the recent Duke teams that were so dependent on freshmen. But this team is not old. And I think again, looking inwards, right? I was going, they're returning 4 or 5 starters. They're returning 80% of their scoring. This is the most veteran team in the ACC. When in actuality, they're a bit prodigious last season in their production as freshmen. So now that they're back, I put too much stock in them being quote unquote old when they're really not. They're too old to make mistakes like this. They're still underclassmen.
They're still meshing.
I saw somebody say, outside of Jeremy Roach, none of them are knocking down shots. I'm going, well, that's surprising because Jeremy Roach is the only veteran on the team that is not playing like a chicken with its head cut off at times this year. That's not going ISO and pressing and trying to do too much. It's maybe they deserve a bit more leeway, like I've been giving to a team like NC State, who ironically, NC State is much older, but they're all new together. Not all, but they're bringing in 7 new faces. They're still waiting on MJ Rice to get healthy. Even guys, a few of the others from recent transfer classes, are still kind of new-ish. So it's maybe we expected too much of Duke too soon because their last 2 games looked like a bunch of young guys trying to figure it out.
And after what they accomplished last year, ACC championship.
Tournament championship.
Tournament. Yeah, ACC.
They were 4th or 5th seed during the regular season.
ACC tournament championship. Second round in the NCAA tournament.
Second round until they got bullied by, I think it was Tennessee. Just got, hey, you're young and weak. We've been in the weight room, and they just got run. They played football for a half, which ironically, Duke football better now.
Is it?
It was at the time. At the time, it was better. We don't know what the heck it is now. We'll talk about that in a second. Transfer portal here and powerful. But first, I want to get to NC State at BC. NC State, I'm giving grace, right? I'm giving that leeway, that period of you got a bunch of new faces. But I will also say this. This is by any means necessary territory. This is my directive to the North Carolina State men's basketball team at Boston College coming up on Saturday. Get a win. Do whatever you have to do to get a win. Like if this were a street fight, I'd say pull hair and bite. Like, do whatever you have to, kick in the nether regions. Do whatever you have to do to get a win. Losses to BYU, losses to BYU and Ole Miss have put you in a desperate place already. Get a win. Right? With North Carolina, I'm a little bit nitpicky, right? Hey, I want you to play a complete game. I know it didn't cost you in your last game. Right? With Duke, my expectations are a bit higher because everybody's a 5-star. With NC State, get a win. Right? We have things, or I have things that I want you to work on, things that I'm watching going, ooh, they need to be better at this. They need to be better at that. Need better consistency from here. But for the meantime, just get a dub, right? By any means necessary. If you got to give it to DJ Burns 100 times, give it to DJ Burns. If he's having an off night like he was having against Ole Miss, get it out of his hands, right? Whoever's the hot hand, ride it to the win. It's that kind of time already.